Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is episode 16 of the Disney Dudes podcast, and I'm joined by a very special guest, and she kind of on a whim, jet setting from Florida all the way back home. And I'm here with Miss Emily O'Keefe, and she is with Key to the World Travel, and she is a travel advisor who actually specializes in Disney destinations. And so, thank you so much for joining me. I was hoping Taylor, who is my counterpart, I like to say I'm the better half, maybe lesser half. Who knows? You haven't got to know me that well, but no. But hopefully he may pop in, join us, say hi, nice fella. But other than that, like I said, we were talking before we hit record. I said, I tend to ramble on. If you listen to the podcast, I would say it's probably 90. Yeah, it's 90% of me talking, which is inane, whatever. But for me in this situation, I know time is of the essence, and I know your time is precious. And I can't tell you how thankful I am for you joining us tonight. I know that we're going to get a lot of great information from you. I'm going to learn a lot. I'm here to listen. I keep talking. I'm trying to listen, but I won't stop talking. No, but if you could you just tell us a little bit? I've given the introduction about who you are, what you do, but can you just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you again for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, sure thing.
So I'm Emily. I'm a travel advisor with Key to the World Travel. I've been with Key to the World for about 3 years now, and I actually was a cast member for the Walt Disney World Resort back in 2016. Wow. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun working there, and now I get to help people plan their Disney vacations.
Wow, very cool. So if you don't mind me asking, where are you from, and what led you from where you're from and what you described to me previously? How does one so far away, get into become a cast member? What led you to where you are now? Why are you doing what you like? Where did you start, and how did you get to where you are now?
So my family kind of took us to Disney a fair amount when we were kids and growing up, and it was probably at least once every other year or so. So we would frequent Disney a fair amount, and then recently, 2016, obviously, I kind of on a whim just applied for the professional internship program at Walt Disney World. Just for fun. You know what? I was about to graduate from college, and you know what? Why not? I love Disney. Why not? Give it a shot.
Sure. Yeah.
And I had originally, just before that, had taken the Keys to the Kingdom tour at Magic Kingdom, and it was amazing.
Is that now? I don't mean to interrupt you. Is that exclusively Magic Kingdom?
Yes.
Got you. I've seen a couple of videos on that, and they never let you film behind the scenes.
No.
Did you ever
That's a very big no.
That's a big no. Okay. Even if you would. Okay.
Very big no.
I'm not the one to try and push the rules, but. Okay.
Well, you can take pictures, but you're not allowed to share them. Like, for example, when I was working there, I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, so I could not share any pictures or anything I took of backstage areas. That is strictly forbidden, and obviously, when you sign your life away, you don't want to break that.
Very true. Agreed.
But the Keys to the Kingdom tour it's really, really cool. I highly recommend it to anyone who has a day or has maybe an older family who kind of, they've been to Disney a bunch of times. They want to try something different. So this is I think it's an 8-hour tour, and I believe there's an age limit because it's so long. It's most of your day. It's a lot of walking. So what they do is they kind of take you around Magic Kingdom, and they kind of show you how the park functions. So like they take you into the Utilidor underneath the castle, which is really neat. And you see how things are transported from one end of the park to the other without guests seeing it. So that's how they kind of keep the magic alive. And you don't see a lot of cast members carting a garbage cart around because it's all underground or it's in the backstage area. So it's like, it's a little bit of a nicer experience. Like you're not smelling garbage all the time, which is really nice.
That is nice.
Yes. And they take you to a couple backstage areas besides the Utilidor underneath. And like they take you backstage in the Haunted Mansion. They show you how the attraction works, which is really cool. Like, is the room actually stretching?
Huh.
You'll
Yeah.
have to find out.
Yeah. Okay.
They
Okay.
take you to the parade barn where they keep the parade floats, and they show you the parade route, which is really cool. Sometimes they'll kind of give you a little glimpse into central shops where
Oh, wow.
where they're performing maintenance on. One time I saw they had a Expedition Everest train they were
Oh,
doing maintenance
wow.
on, which is really cool.
That's really
So
cool.
it's a lot of stuff you obviously don't normally see. So
Sure.
I always highly recommend it, especially if you're an experienced Disney
Hmm.
goer or you want to do something.
Sure. Okay. Okay. I mean, definitely out of the ordinary. When I'd heard about it, it kind of sounded like maybe like an annual pass holder type thing, but this is
Nope,
open
for
to
everyone.
anyone. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Very cool. Okay.
Just not for
Well,
little ones, just because of the amount of walking, and it's an
got you.
all-day tour.
It is an all-day tour. Okay.
Mhm.
You said about 8 hours, right? So,
Yeah, and lunch is
give or take.
included.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very cool. Well, with all that being said, thanks for giving that brief history. And, you know, I do have some, the idea for this week's episode mainly was, tips, tricks, and mainly, how does one, even for me, I'm more the budget minded Disney dude, dad. It's not even, it should be the Disney dad podcast, but if I had a nickel for every Disney dad and now even Disney dude, I just kind of went, whatever, let's just shoehorn ourselves in the bunch. But I'm more budget conscious in regards to trying to plan a Disney trip. And what I realize is that Disney can be more fun. Well, sorry, I take it back. No, I'm just going to say it. Disney can be more fun without your children. Okay.
I do not have any kids, and I go to Disney all the time. So
There we
yes,
go.
it can absolutely be fun without children. And
Thank
obviously it
you.
can be really fun with children too.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you can
Just
see a different perspective through their eyes, which is
exactly.
really fun.
Oh, it's the in you. I do experience the magic. Of course, being an adult compared to being a child, things are much smaller, but it's still vast, spread out, but much different experience. But of course, like you said, living vicariously, my kids, it's just sensory overload for them, and to watch them suffer the way I suffered as a child through all that excitement, and the hyperventilating and the knees shaking after riding Space Mountain for the first time and all this,
Mhm.
it's worth every penny. And I
Yes.
reiterate that. Is it expensive? Yes, but it's worth, you know, saving up for. But you can't do it all. It's impossible to absolutely do it all. And so that's why you have to pace yourself. And this is just me. I mean, I feel like I could read, X number of articles, watch YouTube videos, but this is inspiration for this week's episode was to go to an expert, go to the source. And you said former cast member. I think you said that you did you do the DCP, the Disney College Program, or
I did
am I
a
wrong?
professional internship. So it's
Professional internship. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. Okay.
No problem.
Two separate. Okay. Two
Yes, they
separate
are
things.
separate.
Cool. Okay. But I do have just a handful of questions, that my perspective is, hey, teach me about Disney. Yes, I get it. 4 parks, Beacons of Magic, Disney Magic Band Plus, all this stuff. You said keys to the kingdom,
Mhm.
all those different things. But to me, it's not just what should I pack, how should I budget, but just how do you do it for the budget, conscious family, the budget. And even if you're a couple or just an individual going with a group of friends, it doesn't matter. Your posse is going to be your Disney posse. And how do you plan for that? And so I do have, and now that I look at way too many questions, but I'll just try and condense and to see, based on what we're talking about. Well, with Key to the World Travel, what types of services do you provide?
Sure. So we are a full service travel agency. We
Hmm.
obviously specialize in Disney vacations, but we do
Hmm.
everything else as well. My personal specialty is besides Disney and theme parks is I'm also
Hmm.
a cruise specialist.
Oh, wow.
So mhm. So I plan a lot of cruises for my clients and myself, as you know,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
we'll talk about in a little bit. But
Yeah.
so I kind of do a little bit of everything. I do theme parks, cruises, all inclusive resorts. I've done Europe trips, kind of whatever you want to do. If you want to do a bucket list trip, let's do it.
Wow. And so, in regards to that, how do you go about? I know it's kind of, if a family just says, I want to do Disney, how do you help a family customize their plan? And it's not just a Walt Disney World trip or cruise, or just in general, how are you going to help a family that is, budget conscious plan that vacation? What are some some tools? What are some things that you do on your end?
So the nice thing about me is working with me is if you book your package with me, you can make payments throughout up until your final payment, which is about 30 days or so prior to check-in. So if you don't want to pay everything all at once, you don't have to. And I always advise my clients, especially if they're more budget conscious, get gift cards. So like, every 2 weeks or so, get a gift card. And then we can put that towards your package, or you can put it towards your dining, your merchandise purchases that you want to do in the parks. So you already kind of pre-budget for that.
I feel like I've been missing out. I've been swinging and missing in regards, but this is, to me, this is the kind of stuff we're looking for. That's great information.
I'm still learning. I'm always learning something new. We constantly have trainings and webinars, so where our knowledge base is always growing.
Wow. So you've always got, and it's, for you to be one step ahead of everything and the latest and the trends, and to just, to keep your pulse on the latest in vacation planning, and not just vacation planning, knowing what's upcoming. I'll ask you right now, put you on the spot. When's Tron going to open up?
That's a sore subject.
I'm just kidding.
Hopefully soon. I really want to ride it. I'm a big coaster fan. I love coasters, and I really want to get on that ride.
I've seen way too many memes blaming Chapek but we're not going to get into that.
No,
that's not a biased opinion on my end. But this is, to me, it depends. But I'm going to gear it more towards outside of, we're not going to talk about weather-related planning, things like that. But is there a good time to travel to certain destinations? Specifically, is there a better time to travel than other times to travel to Walt Disney World? Do you have a time you recommend?
It depends on what you want to do. So, for example, if you're a runner like we are, and you want to go to a race weekend, you're going to be seeing a little bit more of the crowds, because those races have a lot of people in them. But at the same time, we can kind of tailor your vacation around those. So if you don't want to go to a race weekend, you don't have to. That's fine. It depends on, if it's your vacation time, it's your vacation, whatever you want to do. And the nice thing is working with me, it's completely free. So we book directly with Disney, Universal, cruise lines, all major hotel brands. So we get the same prices that you do if you book directly with them. But the nice thing is you get us. So I come included with your package. So I can do your dining reservations. I can book your tours, your excursions, anything you want to do. And even if you're an experienced Disney planner, if you don't want me to touch that, that's up to you. I don't have to. So, and the nice thing is if you ever have a problem while you're there, I can make a few phone calls or send a few emails and say, hey, what's going on? And we can kind of help remedy the situation.
So it's kind of a concierge, your one-stop shop, and you're that point of contact that can facilitate everything. So you're telling me that, because when it comes to planning, regardless of everything you're thinking about the money, and yes, it's going to cost, but I think about the stress with planning, and the last thing, hey, hi, nice to meet you. Here's our support group. No, I'm always thinking, outside of kids or other variables that are beyond that, but at the same time, anticipating that vacation. I've never been at a point where I know once I get there, things are good, even if I have to wait on my room, whatever, because I have the worst luck when it comes to my room being ready on it without fail. Hey, it's okay. You're at Disney. Things are great. At least I'm here, right? I've made it. But there's always so much stress involved. So I've taken advantage of these types of services before, but it wasn't as involved as what you're describing. Certain things I had to do on my end, like certain dining reservations, it was mainly just facilitated for tickets, resort, or hotel stay, but for the restaurants, because we did I took my family and we went with Emily, my wife, her whole side of the family, her two brothers. And we were a package deal of around 16, 18, depending on the day and who actually felt like going to the parks. I don't know who that person is, because whatever. But the logistics of that, having to book everything on our own, the Genie Plus, the reservations, we had fun once we got to the destination, but it was an absolute logistical nightmare. And I kind of sweat thinking about it. That's not the way I want to do Disney again. So what you're describing to me is something that I'm definitely going to take advantage of when I plan my next family vacation. So that sounds great to me.
So the nice thing is we do a lot of group travel. So if you do have a larger group, we're used to it. I mean, I've done a destination vow renewal in Jamaica with a couple and 40 people at an all-inclusive resort. So it's nothing new. We're ready. I have I actually am working with a Girl Scout troop right now. They're planning for June next year for a combo Disney and Universal trip.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. So I completely underestimated the powers you wield. I take it back. And that segues into Harry Potter. No. But no, that's really cool.
I was just there this morning.
And rub it in. That's great.
Sorry, buddy.
This is a question. I was thinking about it, and I said, you basically described it, and I see this as kind of putting you on the spot, but not really. But I know you have a copy of the questions in front of you. What can you do that the internet cannot? Because I can go on and book whatever I want.
Yeah, but absolutely. Do you like waiting on hold on the phone?
Tell me about that.
I think so. Obviously, I was a travel advisor back during peak pandemic, and I spent a lot of hours on hold. And obviously, it really hurt to kind of have to cancel people's first Disney trips, their first big vacation in a while, family trips, that sort of thing. It was painful. It was really hard to cancel those. Even on my end. I mean, I'm not obviously traveling with them, but I really wanted them to enjoy their trip and have those moments and make those memories, but couldn't. But then again, here I am. I'm on hold with them, trying to make sure they get their refunds, making sure they get their travel insurance covered. They're good to go. So, and then we can postpone, we can modify their dates, whatever you need to do, whatever you want to do, we can do that. So, I mean, who likes waiting on hold for 6 hours a day?
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, who likes getting up at 6 a.m. to make dining reservations? Who likes getting up at midnight to make your Disney Cruise Line excursions?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I can do all that for you. So you can sleep in, you can relax, you can focus on making memories with your family.
Amazing. That's a great way to put it. That's bravo. Great answer. That was excellent. And so for me, kind of segueing to the next thing in regards to packing for you, because you have frequented what size bag? No. What are the precise measurements of what?
Don't ask my husband.
Get him on here. No. No. What are some for you, because you have worked at Walt Disney World, you go quite often, and looking over your left shoulder there, I'm seeing quite a few. I'm seeing some bling. I'm seeing some. Can you describe to what people that aren't watching, that are listening, what am I looking at?
Sure. So, behind my head is actually my wand from Universal, my interactive wand. I have Luna's wand. I'm a Ravenclaw.
Nice.
But on my other side, I have a lot of Run Disney medals, and I also am working on doing a half marathon in every U.S. state. I have 20 so far. So, and next weekend is Utah, so that'll be 21.
Wow. Okay. I just learned something
new about
I'm not
just Disney. I do everything else too.
Yeah, that's right. You do it all. That's amazing. Wow. For you, and my hat's off to you. I have yet to take that 10-mile run. I've done the 6-mile here and there. I feel like I've got time, but I'm going to run out of time. So, oh well. I'll just run my 11.
7 miles on Castaway Key yesterday. So.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm in dopey training, so I understand.
Okay. Misery loves company. I like it. But what are some essential items every person you feel, in your opinion, must pack for their next Walt Disney World vacation? We always learn, we always forget something. We're always picking up. For me, it was my phone died in the middle of the park, so I learned about those little rechargeable thingamajigs, portable chargers, and that was great. But at the same time, little things like that, like things we just overlook. we underestimate or even overestimate what, in your opinion, your travels, the number of times you've been there, which I'm sure way supersede mine and my family's. What are some essential items that you just, just you always count on and recommend?
So number one thing I always say is bring a very good pair of walking shoes. As I'm sure you're aware, you're very tired at the end of the day and your feet hurt because you're walking, anywhere from 5 to 15 miles a day, depending on what you're doing and what you want to do. So definitely bring a good pair of walking shoes. Sunscreen is another big one. Obviously, that Florida sun is not nice, especially to my pale Irish skin. I also say bring a poncho because those Florida thunderstorms can pop up very quickly and out of nowhere sometimes. So, and especially like the dollar store ones you can fold up and they're very small. You just throw them in like a little drawstring backpack. Those are easy.
Nice.
A drawstring backpack is also really helpful. I usually carry one in the parks. And then the my magic bands, I have a few, but I still have one from when I was a cast member and it still works. And every time I bring it to the parks, the cast members, kind of look at it and say, wow, that's a really old one. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it still works. And I love it. It's an old BB-8 one.
That's really cool. That's
really I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Okay. So I have these specific questions about, hey, for the budget friendly family, where would you recommend going for dinner here? But in general, what is and we're talking about all 4 parks, in your experience, what has been the best restaurant? Because you may have a great meal here one time and then the next, like for me, Le Cellier, I love Le Cellier and I've been once. It was amazing. And then I went again back in April. It was good, but it wasn't that amazing. And I may have gotten the wrong thing. It was still good, but it wasn't as consistent as I expected it to be. What's your go-to?
It depends on the park. And am I allowed to eat out of the park or does it have to be in the park right now?
It doesn't matter. I was thinking in the park, but to me, related, maybe Disney Springs, maybe right outside Walt Disney World, because I haven't ventured. Yeah, I mean, we always kind of have our first meal at Disney Springs and then segue into the resort park, whatever. But what's your go-to?
I'll give you one at every one. So just
go for it. Yeah.
So Disney Springs, I really like Chef Art Smith's. It's not terribly expensive, but it's really good. I had a really nice fried catfish dinner there. It was delicious, absolutely delicious. And they actually have moonshine on tap, and they have moonshine cocktails, which are delightful, absolutely delightful. And they're very refreshing. So, that's my pick for Disney Springs. Magic Kingdom, if you want a table service, you can't beat the ambiance of Be Our Guest. Be Our Guest I love it in there, especially if you're dining in the ballroom. It's so cool. They did a really nice job with the interior of the restaurant. Or Cinderella's Royal Table, you're eating inside the castle. Like, how cool is that, right?
Wow.
And the food is really good too. And then you get to meet the princesses and stuff, which is really nice, especially if you have a big princess fan in your family. And then Hollywood Studios, my husband swears by 50's Primetime Cafe because he has a gluten allergy. So I'm used to traveling with different food allergies. So like if one of my clients has food allergies, we can kind of make dining reservations with that in mind. And my sister also has food allergies. So I'm very used to doing that. I'm very used to helping you guys accommodate those needs. But he swears by the fried chicken at 50's Primetime Cafe because it's gluten-free. They make it fresh for him every time, and he loves it. We have to go there every time. At Epcot, we love Beer Garden. We love Beer Garden because they have the live band. They have the really nice German food. My husband's German. He has family descended from German, and we like going there. Animal Kingdom, we really like Tiffin's, and then we really like it's not a table service, but we really like Flame Tree Barbecue. That's another one.
Is that the one with all the mac and cheese that has the brisket or the barbecue? Okay, I have yet.
Yeah, it is.
We walked by it, and it makes
so
I mean, you said carbs, you had meat, you had me, yeah, you had me at flame, but no, for that one, I know a lot of those kind of quick service. Would that be considered quick service?
Yes, and you can
Okay,
mobile order from your phone ahead of time, which is really nice.
perfect.
So, like, if
Because
you're
I
waiting
know,
in line, you can order. That's what we
okay,
like to do.
nice. Because I know that at Animal Kingdom, at least, they close kind of early.
They do.
I've noticed. And I didn't realize that because I've only been to Animal Kingdom, and I'm going to show my cards here twice. I went when I was 18 years ago, and then I went again last year in November. And when I went, it was just like it wasn't even dinosaur. It was like Escape
Wow.
from So we're talking way.
Mhm.
And so I hadn't had an experience, Escape from Expedition Everest or whatever technical. I always forget the name for it. Flight of Passage, Navi River Ride, all that kind of stuff. In Pandora.
Mhm.
But I underestimated the time it opened, the time it closed, which I understand for the animals, but at the same time, the food. To me, my favorite food or overall consistently, and I don't have much to compare it to, but I probably had my best meal in recent time at Tiffin's. So I can
I
definitely
love
piggyback on
Tiffin's.
Tiffin's. I didn't
Mhm.
know what to expect. I wish I could tell you what I got. My memory it's gone, but I knew it was amazing because we had like a table of 16.
Mhm.
Everybody shared. It was just,
Oh, nice.
it reminded you of like an Olive Garden commercial, when you hear your family,
Yep.
except you're not getting unlimited, but we would have been like that perfect family for that Olive Garden commercial. So, but no, those are really good recommendations. So I will, when I go back, and because I do not edit, I just bloop, upload and then just see what happens. And that's part of our magic, I guess, if you want to call it that. But no,
Why not?
it's exactly. There you go. It's always fun to go back and actually take notes. I actually write down different things that somebody has told me, because we've had a couple of guests on before. One may have been a good friend of mine when I was in graduate school many years ago that knows way too much about space flight, but so I exploited
awesome.
that to my benefit. But I was going back and making notes of, in my downtime, just to go down a YouTube rabbit hole or do a Google search and say, not to confirm or dispel what he's telling me, but just to learn more. So that's awesome. And so I'm learning so much from what you're, from your answers and the conversation we're having, and I appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you.
For me, I was just going to ask you. I have one more main question, actually two more. Resort. What is your absolute favorite resort? And I'm not talking moderate, budget, elite, whatever, creme de la creme, like Grand Floridian. What's your favorite?
Mine is a toss-up between Yacht and Beach and Boardwalk, because
Okay.
so I'm a big coaster fan. I love thrill rides. I love Hollywood Studios and Epcot. So
Yes.
being within walking distance of both of those parks is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. We love it. And then Yacht and Beach and Boardwalk both have really nice pool areas that we like to kind of, his 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a hot day in Florida. I want to go back to the pool, hang out for a little bit, relax, cool down, and then go back for dinner, fireworks. So both of them have really nice pool areas. So I always recommend, if you want to stay there, kind of build in a rest day, a pool day, just to kind of enjoy it and relax and give your feet a break.
We learned the hard way when we did the Tower of Terror 10 miler. We went down that Saturday, obviously registered Wild World Sports, got up and we took our time. We stayed at Port Orleans French Quarter. That's my favorite.
French Quarter.
It's great for adults. It's quiet, moderate.
It's small. It's a small resort.
Yes. Yes. Loved everything about it. And location wise, because we started at, I don't have to tell you based on, what was on, you so graciously showed us over your left shoulder, all your bling. But, getting up that early, and I don't have to tell you, I'm preaching to the choir when I say this, but for me, we got up the morning of the race, ran the race, 10 miles. That's fine. We did our pace, and that, the Disney run is not for time, it's for fun.
Yep.
It's for the fun and for the experience.
It's definitely for fun.
Exactly.
Yes.
But we shoehorned in the Magic Kingdom, and we did Seats and Treats, and it was one of those nights it was open until 11 o'clock at night. So we rode Haunted Mansion at like 10 o'clock at night, or 10 o'clock in the morning. And Emily, we had reservations at Skipper's Canteen.
Oh, I like that restaurant too.
Yes. First time for that one, loved it. And Emily was the ride stopped, and I'm used to Magic Kingdom stopping for like 5, 4, here or there.
It happens.
And
Yeah.
it happens. And we're at the graveyard scene. And I just look at her, I was like, look, remember? And she's just
Asleep. Yep.
asleep, out, just calm, just out like a light. And you know what? We're in the dark. Leave her be. Leave her be.
Good idea.
I'm not waking up that woman. Ooh,
no.
No. You learn the hard way.
Yes.
But anyway, but we were dead tired. We did Epcot the next day. We always do Epcot, drinks around the world. That's our thing, true Disney adult.
You celebrate. You celebrate your accomplishment of doing your 10-miler. That's awesome.
Exactly. What is it? Treat yourself. Exactly.
Yes.
If you want to wear a Batman costume and walk around, the World Showcase and have drinks around the world, treat yourself. You don't question
as long as you follow Disney's costume policy.
Thank you. See, there you go. See, I'm pulling something out of left field, and you're like, nay. Remember the rules. But no, you're right.
Well, I want you to enjoy your day, not get in trouble and have to go back and change. So
that's true. So, but this time around, my point being is that we're actually going to be doing the race, the half marathon, and then just taking the rest of the day to just relax. We're actually incorporating a day to relax. We thought we could do it all. We can't do it all. So that's definitely a great point. You need that downtime. I thought sleep was my downtime because I'm always like, no, shoehorn as much as possible. No, there's always another day.
Especially if you're doing a challenge too, not just one race. If you're doing multiple races, I definitely recommend a rest day. Because obviously you experience it as well as you get up very early to get on those buses, and your start time, you're starting running between 5 and 6 a.m. You're getting on a bus at 4. It's you need your rest. Please rest. Yes. Take care of your body. Take care of your feet.
So take Emily's advice. Not habits. Point taken. So I think I'm just gonna round everything up. Well, I'll ask you one more. What is your all-time favorite ride at Walt Disney World? I have to know. What you have
Walt
to name
Disney
one.
World or any Disney park?
Okay, which ones have you been to?
I've only so I've been to obviously I've been to Walt Disney World. I've been to Disneyland. I've been to Alani. I was supposed to go to Disneyland Paris for the Disneyland Paris races back in September 2020.
Oh, womp. Gotcha.
So we're waiting for Disneyland Paris to start the races up again before we make the trip over. So hopefully soon. We're hoping soon.
But it's inevitable, right?
I hope so, because
they
were very popular.
Okay.
And I was told from many Run Disney friends, you need to go run in Paris. So
I'd heard they had done them, or had they ever done them at Disneyland? They have done like a 5K or something. Nothing as intense as what Walt Disney World does, right?
They used to. The only thing they did not have out in Disneyland was a full marathon. So Walt Disney World was the only one to have a full marathon, but Disneyland, very similar to Disney World, had multiple race weekends where they had a 5K, a 10K, and a half marathon. So I actually have on that rack over there, I have the last race weekend from Disneyland, 2017, I believe it is. Yes, it was the Thor 10K, because it was an Avengers race weekend. They also used to have a Tinkerbell race weekend, a Star Wars light side, and obviously here used to be the dark side in Florida. And
very cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I'm hoping those come back soon because I want to do more races out there as well.
Wow. Well, learned something new about that. And I didn't realize that. I mean, I make assumptions, but I didn't realize Disneyland Paris was like the destination. Yes, in general for being Disneyland Paris, but for races. That's awesome. And for challenges.
Yeah. Wow. Hopefully soon. We're hoping to come back soon. Because they actually, before they canceled it, they were supposed to have another. They just started, we're supposed to start a new race weekend in May 2020. And I think it was a similar to a princess kind of themed race weekend where they had a couple races, and I had another friend who was supposed to go, but obviously everything got shut down. So we're hoping both race weekends come back.
Very cool. Okay. Well, I'm right there with you, rooting for you.
Thank you.
So you just got back. You literally just got off a plane, and you got back from the Disney Wish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I could go on and tell me about that Bayou Bar and the I think it's the hometown that Walt's from. That's the cafe and I've seen
Marceline Market.
Thank you, Marceline Market.
Mm-hmm.
I act like I've been there. Not to take too much of your time, because I know I've taken a good bit of your time. I know you're tired and all that, but okay, cool. 2 hours later, tell me more. No.
I can go on about Disney for hours, so don't worry.
No worries. But no, tell me a little bit about your experience with the Disney Wish.
Sure. So we did a 3-night Bahama sailing out of Port Canaveral. We were originally supposed to be on the June 24th through 27th sailing, but as we know, the Disney Wish construction date got pushed out. So what happened was we rebooked to obviously this past weekend, and they gave us a 50% off any cruise you want with Disney. So we said, okay, let's do it. So we had previously booked a New Year's sailing, the Wish's first New Year's sailing. So this coming New Year's, where we were already booked in a veranda stateroom with a couple of our friends, and they were in the same boat with us. Like pun intended. They were also supposed to be on the same June sailing with us, and which got canceled. And we had both already booked the New Year's sailing, and when we got the 50% off. So we said, we have 50% off. Let's go concierge. So for our New Year's sailing, we're going to be concierge for 50% off.
Wow.
So we're very excited for that one, obviously. But this past weekend, it was just my husband and I, because my friend got pregnant and she's due in November. So they don't So they don't allow women on the ship who are pregnant for more than 24 weeks.
Gotcha.
So unfortunately, they couldn't come, but we will see them on the New Year's sailing. So
nice.
It was just my husband and I, and we did a 3-night sailing. So we boarded the ship on Friday. We went to Nassau, Bahamas on Saturday. Sunday was Castaway Cay, which is Disney's private island in the Bahamas. And then we got off the ship this morning and flew home. So it was so much fun. It was an absolute blast. I had a lot of fun. I've been on a few Disney cruises before. I've been on the Disney Dream, and I've been on the Disney Magic. And this ship is beautiful. I love all Disney cruise ships. They're stunning. Their spaces are beautiful. Their cast members are top notch. It's an all around wonderful experience. But getting on the Wish, everything is just, it's new. It's very open air. Like the atrium is gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. Like they actually raised some of the ceilings, so the ceilings are taller, so you feel more open, like the spaces feel more open and welcoming. Wow. There are restaurants everywhere. There are bars everywhere. The kids clubs. Oh my gosh. So first day of the cruise, you're allowed, like the kids clubs have open houses. So everybody can go inside, kind of see what it's like. Those kids clubs are amazing. And I turned to the cast members. I said, where's the adults only version of this? Because I need this. They have a Star Wars area. They have a story time with princesses area. They have a Walt Disney Imagineering area where they can design their own attractions. They have a Marvel area. You can make your own super suit and go on missions. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And I don't have kids, but again, I really want an adult version of that.
No,
it's so cool.
Wow. Why am I sitting here still talking to you? I mean, good Lord. Wow.
It was amazing. The nice thing is because everything's open house on the first day, they have a slide for the kids from the atrium down into the kids area. And on opening day, on the first day of the cruise, they let adults go down too. So, of course, we both had to go down the slide. So it was a lot of fun.
Naturally. I mean, come on.
Of course.
It's a slide, for crying out loud. You shove the kid out of the way. You're like, no, I'm bigger than you. Get out of the way. My turn. Head first. That's
I'm
amazing.
Paying more than you. Your parents are paying for this.
You're basically a stowaway.
I'm so jealous of their areas. They're so cool. Wow. But there are a lot of adults only areas on board the ship too, which are really nice. Like there's an adults only pool area. All the bars are adults only. There's adults only restaurants called Enchanté and Palo Steakhouse, which are absolutely amazing.
Wow.
So if you're not really into, like, you don't want to be around kids as much, you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just for kids, as you can tell, because I don't have kids and I go on Disney cruises. So, and I have an absolute blast. And
Wow.
they have in the adults only pool area, they have a couple of hot tubs, they have a bar, they have a coffee shop, a specialty coffee shop. They have an infinity pool that overlooks the back of the ship. It's really nice. And they have padded lounge chairs. Like, they have waiters coming around if you want drinks. I had a Dole Whip cocktail. Yeah, it was amazing.
I think my mic, my headphones went out there. My mic is glitching. What do you say? A Dole Whip?
Dole Whip cocktail.
Describe that.
It was essentially like a Dole Whip kind of milkshake kind of consistency with rum in it.
Wow.
Yeah. It was really nice, especially on a hot day.
You could just say it's Dole Whip and rum. That's all you need.
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was really good.
Front and center. I'm there. It sounds amazing. Wow. I mean, you could just said it was beautiful. I want to go. Wow.
And the nice thing too that we noticed, so obviously because we've been on other ships, we can kind of compare them a little bit. But one thing we noted in the staterooms is obviously they're brand new, like fixtures got an update. The veranda staterooms have a split bath where they have one little room for a toilet and a sink, and then the other one is a shower and a sink. So you can have multiple people getting ready at the same time, which is really nice.
On a cruise ship.
And the nice thing is the shower's got a nice upgrade too. So they're actually big. The showers are bigger, and like it has a nice closing glass door, and it's actually a really decent sized shower for a cruise ship. Yeah.
Man.
And
even your potential base level room is, I mean, I have not cruised as you're a typical person. I've been on one cruise, and it's when I graduated from high school. Aww. And yet again, cute. It's not what I've got to do. No, but it went out of Port Canaveral. It went out of Port Canaveral to Freeport and back. Nice. Freeport, Key West, and back. See if I get emotional for no reason. Voice kind of went high pitched there. No, that's what I call my zoinks moment. You know, G Scoob. You know, zoinks. You know,
Scoob.
Yeah. And then
I saw Scooby-Doo this morning at Universal. Actually,
of course you did. You saw. No, that's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I mean, what else? You're on the way to town. You have time until your flight. What else are you gonna do but ride Hagrid's? Motorcycle. So motorcycle. Oh my god. But
Sorry.
All that said and done. No apologies. I'll just never contact you again for anything. But no, I'm just kidding. No, but no, that's incredible. That's incredible. But no, my question was, like, even the base room is spacious, has great fit and finish. You're telling me like that. To me, obviously you do get what you pay for compared to other cruise lines, especially with Disney. And from what I hear and what you're describing, Disney cruise lines is the tops, the creme de la creme. Just they set the standard, is what I'm trying to say. Amazing.
Yeah, they're absolutely wonderful. We've had multiple cast members really just go above and beyond. Because you get Disney service. Obviously you've experienced it before. Yes. Disney service is unlike anything else ever. They're always top notch. They go above and beyond on a consistent basis. For example, my husband and I did a cruise back in October, and it was a week or so after our anniversary, and he kept having issues with the Disney Cruise Line app, and the Wi-Fi went over. Couldn't connect to his phone. It couldn't load, so he kept having to go to guest services, and he made friends with one of the cast members there. Nice. And so the cast member was absolutely wonderful. He constantly said hello, whenever we passed by, he'd always say hello. He actually sent us a bottle of wine to our stateroom for our anniversary. He was just the nicest cast member. And and the nice thing is too, is if you cruise with Disney Cruise Line and a cast member goes above and beyond for you, you can send in a cast compliment to Disney Cruise Line for them. So we did that after our cruise in October, and then we found out that same cast member was transferred to the Wish. So
Wow,
we
very
found him.
cool.
So we found him because he was still in guest
Wow.
services. We found him on the Wish. We had, we started the conversation, how are you? How's things? We're so glad you're here. Like, thank you for making our trip so special. And he even, on our last night of the cruise, he came to dinner, to our dinner, our table.
Uh-huh.
Came to dinner and said, how's everything going? Do you need anything? Is everything working for you? We love him. We absolutely love. His name is Vikram. He's from India. He's an absolute
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
And he's in guest services on the Wish currently.
Amazing.
He's an absolutely wonderful human being. So
wow. And wonderful human beings like that. And there are, and most people, if I'm spending this kind of money, I have these set expectations. But to have that kind of person, that high, especially guest services, I've
where
worked
they're
customer
dealing with
service and
angry
retail.
people.
I'm assuming, I can only assume, especially in that when people, like I said, paying that pretty penny to be that gracious, to be that patient, but just to be a decent human being, it's the easiest thing to do and the hardest thing to do at the same time. So you're catch 22 in that situation. The way you describe them, the conviction you had behind your experience with that cast member, incredible. But it does take one to know one. So there you go. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Emily, I think that you've given me probably our best episode yet.
Thank you.
And
I really appreciate
and I do wish Taylor could be a part of this, and I keep going like this, like it's a spicy meatball with my hands for no reason. Like you better, I don't know what that is. But all that said and done, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. It was an absolute pleasure. I mean, I just met you in person, virtually tonight. You literally got on. You flew from Florida back home just to be on this podcast, and that's incredible. Only reason. Just say yes.
Totally. Yes, of course, always. So if you ever need anything, you have my contact information. If you ever need anything, feel free to contact me.
Absolutely. Well, cool.
And if anybody
once
also
again,
wants
this
to...
is Emily O'Keefe, and she is with Key to the World Travel. Please look her up. We are going to put her information in the show notes. We're going to really promote her out the wazoo.
Thank you.
And oh yeah, absolutely. You're very welcome. And thank you so much for your time, and have a great evening.
Thank you for your time, Abbott. I really appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
Bye.